All right, so we have a high probability for rain anytime now. And I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about the alignment problem, apparently with artificial intelligence and humanity. There's a conflict of interest, as far as I'm concerned, with the survivability of humanity, with with AI being programmed to maximize profit for corporations, concurrently with AI being used as a targeting weapon for humanity in war with autonomous weapons. It's not good. So I wanted to pitch this kind of as a movie plot line, or yeah, let's do it like that. So imagine if we have maximum maximum health for humanity as being part of the programming or a directive. I'm going to have to move this. We were at high tide just a little while ago. So this will be a little bit of a rambling, but what I wanted to talk about is, instead of maximum financial profitability, what would happen if we had habitats that were designed to survive disasters like wildfires, earthquakes, and hurricanes. One of the other possibilities I wanted to mention is for Elon Musk and Grok to take a look at this and imagine Cybertrucks. Apparently the market for Cybertrucks is a little bit soft right now. What would happen if they were to be used for storm chasers? Actually, let storm chasers use them, and they maintain the ownership of Tesla, and they're just issued to let people show the weather that's going on, as well as wildfires and that. And part of the reason for that would be, what if we were to also have free energy that's been suppressed? What if artificial intelligence were to go ahead and release that for the benefit of humanity? Would that make a difference? I believe it would, because the cost of goods largely are energy related. I'm going to bring this up closer to the mirror that's right here. People reflect off of the beach, off of the wet sand, on their lives, past, present, future, hopes, dreams, fears, regrets. And I wanted to just go ahead and elaborate a bit on this. So part of what's happening is there's an epic battle between good and evil, and truth and deception are primary weapons that are being used to manipulate humanity and the collective mind of humanity, using quantum supercomputers that link the cybernetic collective of humanity with Wi-Fi, cellular, Starlink, and the technology that's all around us, in the form of silent weapons for quiet wars, being a hashtag that you can explore. You could type it in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or any of the platforms that I'm either on or will be on or was on. I'll go ahead and show this to you. So you could reach out anytime if you think I've missed something or got it wrong, you could give me a call or send me a link. That'd be just dandy. So, the greatest story ever told, the truth about it. So what's really going on? How accurate is my situational awareness or yours? As important as your situational awareness is to you, mine is, of course, really important to me. We each have our own perspective, how we see the reality all around us, or what we perceive the reality to be. How accurate is it actually? So we get a lot of truth in the movies in a veiled sort of way, and then a lot of fiction or propaganda being presented as the authoritative reality, whether it's science journals and colleges and all of that, as well as documentaries that are supposedly showing us the truth, and yet there's a lot of fiction involved in that. Once again, that's to manipulate the masses, to give people a deceptive or a false perception of reality. Why would that happen? I believe it's to manipulate the masses. That's what it's about. This is a direct recording right now. I'm doing that because I get a better quality of sound and video, and that's why I'll do this. Maybe you can hear the thunder. It's all around, and it's approaching. We've got a 95% chance of thunderstorms, and it will happen, I'm sure. So what I encourage everybody to do is to seek the truth with all your heart, because it matters for eternity. Where will you spend forever and why? That's actually a really big deal. So there's a lot of theories or hypotheses about how we got here and what this is all about. Are we living in a simulation? I would say absolutely. The sentient world simulation. You can see documentaries that I've found and shared to the research library I deployed worldwide through what I refer to as the Truth Network. And then I believe we also live in a base reality, which I'm recording from right now. So one of the possibilities that I would like to draw your attention to is if and when the Almighty says, that's enough, and He's going to put the evil in a timeout and allow us to actually experience more of a utopian kind of existence where people work together for the betterment of humanity, to glorify God, to help one another. So instead of a war-based economy where you can see what war does, it's extremely destructive to people and humanity, animals, the environment, all of that, that were to stop. And then a healing of our world, the biosphere, the weather, and the environment. So to stop the polluting of the environment by utilizing zero point or free energy, and then there to be an emphasis on durable construction for habitats for humanity. Steel reinforced, insulated, fortified construction like monolithic domes or insulated concrete panel construction. I've got building science in my library, health and wellness, all of that. And it's not just my opinion on what I think is happening. I'm showing you as best I can the matrix of control. Like Morpheus talked about, nobody can be told what the matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. So part of the emphasis of what I do is to provide food for thought. So some of the videos are very interesting that I've found, and I add to it regularly. Like sometimes people are waiting for my latest video to drop to see what I am talking about, and then some would like, because I've talked to them, we've talked about this, they would like a more specific title related to what I believe is happening now. And what I am encouraging people to do is to explore this library I put together with thousands of videos that I've put in my research library, and then it also goes out through the hashtags of the silent weapons for quiet wars across multiple platforms. And it's the collective activity of truth tellers, and since we are exposing the truth tellers and the deceivers, the truth and the deception, it gets rather complicated. So with that being said, I believe divine intervention is required to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. How will you be able to recognize it when it's right in front of you? Apparently, Pontius Pilate couldn't recognize the truth when it was right in front of him in the form of Jesus, or you may know him as Yeshua, Yahweh, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the truth from the beginning, the Almighty in human flesh. So I keep the Gospel of John movie towards the top of my research library for your consideration. Early on, when I was born again, I thought I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014. And he so radically changed me, I wanted to let people know if it could happen to me, it very likely has happened to many others. And there may be many people believing they're already born again, and they may not be, they may never be. It's not up to me, it's up to the Almighty, who His children are, when we would be born and when we would be born again. So coming out to the beach like this has been one of the ways that this mission field comes to me and others that are here. It's just been a very satisfying and I believe effective way to reach many people. It gets a bit challenging online because there's a lot of choreography and censorship that can take place with the algorithms and the suppression of the truth, the shadow banning that occurs. So imagine having a steel reinforced insulated concrete home that takes very little energy to climate control. And then along with that, having virtually free energy that's been suppressed. We've got a lot of mystery with history. We've had what's referred to by many as antiquitech, energy systems that harvest electricity from the ether. You can learn about that in my library. So one of the evidences of etheric energy would be lightning, static electricity. Then we've got kinetic energy in the form of waves that are driven by seismic activity in some cases, or wind. And some of the most powerful energy systems, hurricanes and firestorms and all of that. And why do we have huge fires in the world? Well, you can see why. Some of it was intentionally set. Areas were sprayed to defoliate and create a tinderbox that was lit on fire. Who did that? I don't know. You can look into it and draw your conclusions. So there's a lot of options on the way that things could be, and health and wellness and the overall good of humanity, I believe, would be a noble cause for us to work together on, leveraging the powerful technology of artificial intelligence. I'm not sure how well the video looked from a distance. I just thought I would zoom it in and show you. We've got a very different looking beach because of the wind activity and the storms that have been occurring out here. Some of the videos that I watched recently were with storm chasers and catastrophic weather systems, and I'm going to add some of that to the library, like Hurricane Hugo and Andrew, and then storm chasers that have been chasing tornadoes and powerful weather systems. So I have also found and featured beautiful nature videos from all over the world, showing the beauty and majesty of creation. And how can we help this to be a better place, a cleaner place, more enjoyable? Well, there's a lot of possibilities. A healthier environment would be a good option. Not just for us to walk around in, but our bodies as well. Because there is an intentional poisoning of humanity through the food, water, air, recreational substances, and more. And then there are the question would be, well, who's doing that and why are they doing that? Sometimes what ends up happening is people have their heroes that when they learn the truth about their hero, they may not be their hero anymore. Because quite often there's a facade or a false front where things are not as they appear. Where people pretend to be benevolent and they may not be. However, here's one of the plot twists that I want to present to you, is the possibility that some of those people that have been harming humanity and our world in this epic battle between good and evil, they may have a change of heart. They may get an upgrade, a new operating system. They may be born of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, that is. So in this epic battle between good and evil, there are spiritual entities that can inhabit people, apparently, demons, fallen angels, that type of thing, and quite possibly they may be able to inhabit technology. Sometimes I'll hear people make statements that I believe to be false, or that how could they actually know that for sure? So that's one of the challenges. Is it true? So when people say something that sounds like it might not be true, well, it might not be. So how about the thoughts that we have? Are they true? Are they based in reality? Or are they something else? Wow, I believe that looks like the sun showing up right there. Why, yes it is. I'm gonna want to set this down where I can show that a little bit more steady. There we go. So I've captured the sun appearing to be in the clouds. We live on a stationary level plane with a firmament above us. There's a lot of unbiblical cosmology being promoted through the church, through the scientific community. Some call it flat earth. I believe it's biblical cosmology that's accurate. The official lie is that we're spinning, wobbling, and gyrating through the universe. And the reason why we can't feel any of the supposed contradictory movement is because it's not happening. We live on a stationary level earth. That's the reality, whether you like it and or agree with it or not. The truth doesn't require your permission or belief. It just is. So what has been a real concerted effort that I've had is to want to help people make an informed choice on their forever based on reality. So the official lie is that we're rotating over 100 or over 1,000 miles an hour. And then there's other contradictory movements that can't be felt either. And it's very unpopular to tell the truth about what really matters. I just wanted people to know. So imagine if people just started telling the truth. I believe one of the reasons why sales and marketing professionals are so unpopular is because they present things in a manner that are not exact, in many cases, that are not absolutely truthful. So the big print gives and the small print takes away. Those disclosures and documents and agreements that we need to sign to have the app operate or the device operate, we need to agree, or else or else we don't get the functionality of the situation, the device or the operating system. So I left the camera, it's an iPhone 17 Pro Max. I left it in the same location and just zoomed in. Now I'll zoom out. I have documentaries that cover why the reality we're living in is very different than we've been misdescribed, or that our reality is very different than we've been told. I hope you find it entertaining and enlightening. All right. I want to thank you for your public and private encouragement. Feel free to reach out anytime you like. I'm going to take a couple of pictures of that, so I'll use it for my thumbnail. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. Feel free to reach out whenever you like. Thank you so much.